And we'll start in kneeling. So just bringing your knees hip width apart. We'll have our hands on our hips and just roll the shoulders up, back and down. And just take a few nice deep breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. And as you're rolling, see if you can slide the shoulder blades down into the back pockets of your trousers and really focus on that opening of the chest and that equal movement on the left and the right side of the shoulder. I'm just going to double check because I've just had a message come in and it might be somebody who's suddenly gone, I want to join if I can't get in. Or it might not. But we'll just double check just in case. No. Okay. All right, so just reverse those rolls, those shoulder rolls, take them back the other way. And when you're rolling, just notice, do your thumbs or your fingers want to move position to compensate for any tightness in the shoulder? So I have to really focus on my right side because my left one feels nice and supple and my right one feels really sticky and kind of a bit clunky. So just listen and tune into your body and notice whether your fingers are adjusting their position to compensate for anything that's going on higher up in the shoulder. So let's do 2 more. And then we'll finish with the final one, up, back, and drop the shoulders down. Good work. And really think about sliding those shoulder blades down, reaching the tips of the elbows away from each other, and then start to just move your pelvis through a circle. So when we start to move, we want to think about connection, tailbone to pubic bone. Nice way of just drawing in through the corset. Keep those shoulders drawing down away from the ears. So as you're working, just really focusing on the dropping and the sliding of the shoulders. Don't let them pull up and start to lift again. Keep them down as you just did with your shoulder rolls. Let's reverse it back the other way. Just nice small movements. I've got a tweaky muscle underneath my rib. So if you suddenly see me go, oh, it just sometimes today has been doing that. So don't panic. I'm not having a heart attack, which we did wonder earlier, but turns out it's just a muscle. Let's do 2 more. And last one. And then release. Good work. Really nice. Let's take the hands down to the floor. I really want to loosen off the chest and shoulders. So fingers facing forwards, fingers splayed out, knuckles against the mat. So you're really opening the hands. Really, if you've got arthritis and the fingers kind of lift up a little bit, see if you can just press them into the mat. And then we're going to work through just thinking about shortening the collarbone. So I want you to draw your ribs up away from the floor as if you're shortening your collarbone. And it'll feel like you're pushing your hands into the mat. And then we're going to drop the ribs back down and lengthen the collarbone. So we shorten and pull the ribs away from the floor, and then we lengthen and we drop it back down and then pull it away. And keep that going. So as you're working, you're really focusing on shortening the collarbone. That will lengthen the muscles across the back of your shoulders, and then lengthen the collarbone, and that will shorten the muscles across the back of your shoulders. And just keep that going at your own speed and really working through from the shoulder and the rib rather than from the head and the neck. So you're just bringing the ribs away from the floor and then dropping them back towards the floor. That's it. Draw away and drop down. Let's just do 2 more. Working with the breathing. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And then we'll sit gently back towards the heels. Be mindful of your knees. Walk those fingertips forwards and lengthen the rib cage and just open out from fingers to tail. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here, breathing wide into the ribs, trying to soften the belly and soften the pelvic floor. On the exhale, really let everything sink heavier towards the mat. And again, breathing in wide into the ribs. Exhale. 1 more time. Good work. And we're going to start to rock this forwards and backwards. So we're going to come up into our kneeling position and just take your weight over your hands so you start to feel really heavy on your hands, and then push into the floor and send your tail back. And again, rock forwards onto the hands and then push into your tail and send back. And you're just going to see if you can use the floor, use your arms to push the floor away and then pull the floor towards you. Push the floor away and pull the floor towards you. Keep that going. You just start to feel that the shoulders and the arms warm up a little bit. Just going to double check because definitely somebody's trying to message to get through and I don't want anyone to be left out. Make sure that nobody's struggling to get in, which is always really sad. Okay. Last two. And last one. And good work. Sitting back to your child pose. Take a nice deep breath in. 3 deep breaths. Breathing out, softening, sinking. And just noticing whether there's any change in the breathing capabilities now that you've done a little bit of loosening off with that rocking action. Last deep breath in. And exhale. And we're going to come all the way back up into 4-point kneeling. Let's start to mobilize. So we're just going to use our body to draw circles, pressing the hands into the floor. So what we want to do here is really think about scooping the belly, supporting the back, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. And then as we mobilize, just get that nice stretch in the wrists, the forearm. Lovely. And then we'll take it back the other way. Bring it back round. Nice circular movement, really nice for the wrists. Starting to work through the muscles around that stabilize around the shoulder. And drawing that belly away from the floor. So although we're relaxing, we're still supporting, we're still switched on. Last one. And then just sit back onto your heels and shake out those wrists. Think they'll shake out. Lovely. Bringing the hands back down onto the floor, kneeling box position. We're going to do a little bit of rotation, but let's keep it really gentle. If you haven't done much moving across Christmas, let's not go too deep here. So let's take the hand behind the ear and we're just going to go elbow to elbow and then elbow to sky. And then again, elbow to elbow. Exhale, elbow to sky. Good. Now think about your pelvis staying facing the mat. And as you rotate, rotate from your waist, leaning through your ribs and then into the tip of the elbow. Inhale and exhale, open. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, open. Follow the eye gaze to the tip of the elbow. Exhale and open. Lovely. And then sit back into your child pose, reaching the hands forwards and just see if that's freed up your waistline, your rib, your shoulder. Is it giving you any change? What still needs to happen? Coming back up, let's have a go on the other side. So fingers behind the ears, kneeling box position, and then elbow to elbow. And then exhale, reach. Inhale, up. Exhale, reach. Good work. And really think about reaching the tip of the elbow up, following the eye gaze, and that will help you follow the movement. Your body goes where your eye goes. That's it, good. Try not to round into the back there, Joe. See if you can just soften between the shoulders. Let's do 4 more on this side. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale, reach. And inhale. Last 2. Still scooping that belly. Supporting that back. Last 1. And then sitting back into your child pose. Reaching the arms forwards. And we'll take 3 deep breaths here. And again, just noticing any improvement in that position. Breathing wide into the ribs. Softening the belly. Softening pelvic floor. And just relaxing the mind. And then we'll go back into our rocking action. So we're going to think about sending the weight a little bit further forwards this time. So scoop the belly and let your hips drop down, open the collarbone. And then draw the belly up and back. Sit your tail back towards your heels. And then again, come forwards, let your hips drop, open your collarbone. And then sit back, scoop the belly and drop it back. Good work. So really think about pulling yourself forwards by making your hands sticky on the mat and then push the floor away as you send your body weight back. And again, hinge forwards, open and hinge back. Keep that going. We've got 4 more. Hinge forwards, open. Start to lift the chin a little bit if it feels nice with your back. Keep scooping that belly, protecting and supporting. Last 2. Reaching long with the fingers. And last 1. And then we're going to hold in our cobra. So let your hips come forwards, but keep supporting through your tummy. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Just see if you can make that collarbone longer. For 3, and 2, and 1. And sit back and relax. Nice deep breath in. And nice deep breath out. Good work, bringing ourselves back into our 4-point kneeling position. So let's just add a little bit more rotation this time. We're going to thread the needles. So we take the arm through the gap, back of the hand slides along the floor. It reaches as far as you can, and then you bring the shoulder down towards the mat and the ear if it will go there. If it doesn't want to go there, don't force it. And then we're going to bring the arm all the way back through, open it to the sky and look at the hand. Good. And again, so remember, back of the hand slides through, lead with the fingertips, and then the shoulder and the ear come down. Just play with your hip position. See if you can move your bum around a little bit to increase the stretch or improve the stretch. And then on the exhale, we're going to go all the way back through. Good work. Let's do 2 more. So sliding through, reach as far as you can. Then the back of the shoulder and the ear come to the floor. Feeling that nice stretch across the back of the shoulder. Oh, it feels really good. And then reach up to the sky. I feel better already, even just doing 10 minutes. Why have I not done this? Reach the way through. Keep that bum high in the sky. And then bringing the arm all the way back up and reach. Good. And then hand down on the mat. And then we'll go for the other side. So back of the hand slides through. Use that hand to lead you all the way through into your rotation before thinking about coming down, and then just play with that position of your hips. If you've got tight hips, you'll find that your hips twist. So it's always nice to readjust the hips, bringing the arm all the way back through and open. And then again, take it all the way through. So inhale and exhale, just however suits your body. You don't need to do anything specific here. And just working with the pace that you breathe. Reaching through, enjoy that extension through the back of the shoulder. And then reach all the way up through to the sky. Last one coming up. Hello, Freya, you're late. You might need to mute, guys. You've just unmuted yourself, I think. And then release. We're going to sit all the way back to the heels, walk those hands forwards, and bring your eye gaze down. So take a nice deep breath in, back into the pelvis, filling the belly, relaxing and releasing the pelvic floor. Let's do 3 here. Breathing wider and deeper and using that breath to explore the spaces in your pelvis, your rib cage, your belly, shoulders, the spine. And on the exhale, I want you to imagine you're letting go of all the frustrations, the things that have been holding in your mind. Just let everything go. Breathe it out. Let's do 1 more for fun, shall we? Breathing in wide into the shoulder, the ribs. Good work. And bringing your hands all the way back. Let's just stay back onto our heels for a little bit, unless it's uncomfortable, in which case you can tuck a cushion under or sit down. Shake out those wrists. We've done quite a bit on the hands, so just give them a really good shake. Nice to the sides. This is a good one for homeschooling children as well. Get them to shake out their wrists because they won't be used to typing all the time. Give them a circle. You'll find they'll probably get sore fingers and thumbs Well, they'll need a bit of TLC. So stretching out is really good too. So I'll just show you this one. So fingers onto the floor and then just fold the wrist forwards. So you can keep your arms bent or you can keep them straight, whatever. But you want to make sure that you're folding forward so the back of your hand is against the mat. And then the idea is to try and sit taller, open your collarbone and draw your shoulder blades down. And you'll feel this deep stretch up through your forearm and your wrist. And if you do a lot of typing, then it will be tight. So it's a nice way to stretch it out. And then you can just peel the hand off the floor, give it a little shake. And we'll just do it one more time. So fingers, fold as if you're going to drop your watch to the floor, and then straighten those arms if you can. Gosh, that one's tightened some work. And then lengthen your collarbone, draw your shoulders down, and just sit tall. Stretch it out. And you'll notice as well that if you're very tight, you'll naturally lean away from the tight bit. So you maybe want to drop the thumb into the floor more, or the little finger. Just notice where you lean away from, and then peel off and shake it out. Okay, so we've done a bit for the shoulders and the thoracic spine. So let's now work on the lumbar. Hands under shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to scoop the belly and just draw the belly button up into the back of your ribs, and then drop it back down. And again, exhale, scoop the belly button, draw it up into the back of your ribs, and drop it back down. And I want you to think of this like a really deep low tummy exercise. So you're going to exhale, draw tailbone to pubic bone, scooping up through the pelvic floor, belly button moves into the back of the spine, and then drop it back down. And then 2 more here. Exhale, tailbone to pubic bone, draw in and up, and draw it up and back, and feel the left and the right side working, and then drop it. Or last time, tailbone to pubic bone, draw it up and back, good, and then drop it all the way down. Lovely. Let's go into a deep cat stretch. So we're going to curl the tail under, scoop the belly, round the ribs, open across the back of the shoulders, and then look back towards the pelvis. We keep the head still, and we're going to unravel from the tail. So bring the belly button down towards the floor as the tailbone curls up, and then move forwards through your ribs, pressing into the floor. Now push down into the floor, and as if you're going to push yourself forwards and bring your body between your shoulders, if that makes sense. So you're trying to open your collarbone and work through into your thoracic spine as well. Good. And then scooping the belly, we're going to draw up and back, tailbone to pubic bone. Deep tummy contraction, round the ribs, opening the shoulders and pushing into the floor. Get that stretch. And then working from the tail. Tail moves up and back. Tummy comes down forwards. We work through the ribs, pushing into the floor, open the collarbone, and then looking up between the eyebrows. Good. Now we're going to make this nice and fluid and do 5 or 6 of them. So just work at your own speed, but really use the time to articulate the spine and really kind of over exaggerate the movements, but make it feel good for your body, make it feel fluid. So just if you find any sticky spots and you know that you've got bits which don't move so well, take your time there. So maybe that's more in your lumbar spine, maybe it's more in your mid back, your thoracic, or maybe it's more in the cervical. So really thinking about where your sticky parts are and just getting them to mobilize. Working with the pace you breathe. Don't get too hung up on whether you're breathing in or out on each bit, but just remember to work with your breathing so that you're pacing the exercise and you're not holding your breath. The body likes to be fluid and to be moving. So as long as we're doing that, it's all good. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Tailbone to pubic bone, swooping up and back. Let's just do a couple more here. Noticing any changes, any slight changes, any bits that you know you're going to need to work on. Finishing off with the one you're working, and then sit back onto your heels, stay up and just shake out your hands. Got a lot of work for the wrists. Just give them a good shake out. Good work. Very nice. Okay, so let's go down onto our backs. Laying down onto the floor. So just laying down onto the mat, nice long spine, feet hip width apart, knees in the bent leg position. A little bit of daylight at the backs of the knees, and we're going to start to think about mobilizing into the rib heads a little bit. So I want you just to, let's go one arm first. So we're just going to take the arm up and back and then forwards. And just keep that going. And as you're doing that simple arm movement, see if you can make the back of your ribs heavier into the floor. So you're tilting your marble north. If you're Pilates trained, then you'll know what that means. Keep lengthening that lower back into the mat. Good work. And just get that movement and see whether you can reach your arm long behind you and keep the ribs down on the floor. It's just a few more, reaching it through. And last one, and then other side. So reach the arm up and back, and can you sink the rib into the floor and then bring it back. So just noticing any difference in the arms, any pull in the ribs, any sort of strength challenges. Are you battling to keep your lower back long? Are you battling to keep your ribs down? They feel okay on both sides there. So if you're tight under the back of your shoulder or into your tricep, you might find this one a little bit more challenging. And then we'll do both together. So we're going to take the arms back, keep those ribs down, and then reach forwards. Keep the arms, take the arms back, keep the ribs down, and come forwards. Exhale as we take them back, and we'll do 6, 5. Keep those ribs down, lower back long. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now alternate, one arm forwards, one arm back, and alternate. Again, just keeping those ribs down into the floor. Keep sinking the back of your ribs. You might feel you want to press with your heels a little bit, just to imprint the ribs. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay where you are. Keep those arms lengthening, one up and back, one down and forwards. And then we're going to open out to T-shape like a windmill. I'm going to move because I'm knocking into the wall. So opening out, and then circle the arms along the floor and go all the way around, and then take them all the way back. So you're drawing circles like a big sort of snow angel on the floor, but you're alternating, one arm going one way, the other arm going the other. Now concentrate on those ribs, Joe, and print the back of the ribs down so that you're not allowing the ribs to flare up away from the mat. So keep the arms straight and reach long. That's it. And just keep imprinting those ribs. Let's do 6 more. So the challenge here is, can I keep my ribs down on the floor as I reach my arms long in the windmill? I'm just trying to remobilize into the back of the shoulder. If you think about like a cape, if you had a cape on and you're kind of pulling your Batman or your Batwoman cape along the floor, what you're trying to do is think about stretching the muscles out from the spine, the back of the shoulder, right to the ends of your wrists. Let's do the last one. Doesn't look very exciting, but if you do it well, it's a really effective way of releasing the shoulders and the breathing muscles of the ribs. Good. And then release those arms. Very nice. Keep the arms where they are. Let's go into a nice stretch for the hip. So we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee, and then take hold of the right thigh and draw it in. So you've got a crisscross position. That's it. And then we're just going to take a little gentle rock here, and I want you to notice whether when you rock left or right, whether there's any deeper stretch. So do you notice it pulls more around your tail or around your hip or into your bum? Where are you getting that? And then we're just going to settle back into the center. Inhale, draw the leg in towards you. So you're drawing your leg in. Try not to pull on the knee joint. Think about holding the back of the thigh more. That's it. And then on the exhale, just imagine you're reaching your tailbone down your mat. So there's nothing really for me to see, but you draw your leg in towards you to create the traction, and then you lengthen your tailbone inside your body as if you're trying to drop it back down to the mat. Inhale, draw it in. Exhale, lengthen the tailbone away. Now you'll just start to get a slightly deeper stretch on that outer hip and thigh. One more. Inhale, draw it in. Exhale, lengthening it away. And then if you feel comfortable to do so, just take a gentle rock here. It can feel quite nice to use your elbow just to lock in against the inside of that thigh of the left leg of the one that's bent towards you, just to hold it out. Otherwise the knee sometimes twists in. That's it. Last 3 and 2 and 1. We're going to pop the right foot down onto the floor and keep the left leg where it is. Arms go out to the side of the body like a scarecrow, and then we're going to roll the legs to the right. So keep the ankle locked onto the knee, and then we're going to just roll to the right and drop the foot towards the floor. And then let that top knee fold away from you. So you can just roll it away. So opening out into the hip and the front of the thigh. I've noticed from the breaststroke kicks, Joe, that I've been getting a lot more achy just into the hip and the groin there. I was like, I need to watch that. Okay, so we're going to inhale. And on the exhale, tailbone to pubic bone and roll back to center. And then just release that leg. We'll do a simple full body stretch, reaching fingers and toes along the floor. And then bring the arms back and bring the feet back. And we'll do the other side. So cross the ankle over the knee and let the knee turn out. And then we're going to take hold of the left thigh and draw it in towards us. And then just take a gentle rock from side to side. So really all we're checking in here is just to see whether there's any grizzly spots, anywhere that we're avoiding, because we'll always lie towards the tighter side. So hopefully this will just work that out for us. Let's just do a couple more here. This one's definitely tighter on my side. And then we're going to do those traction stretches. So we inhale, draw the leg towards you, feel the stretch inside your hip and groin and your bottom. And then exhale, lengthen the tailbone away. Just soften the shoulders, relax the collarbone. Inhale, draw it in. And exhale, let it lengthen away. And inhale, draw it in. And exhale, let it lengthen away. Good work. One more, I think. Inhale, draw it in, and exhale, lengthening away. And then keeping that length and just take a little rock. Again, just noticing any tightness. The rocking's a really nice way to loosen the fascia a little bit. And also if you tend to kind of avoid the area which really needs it, this will find it. Relax those shoulders. 3, and 2, and 1, and then foot down on the floor, arms out to the side like a scarecrow, and we're going to lock the ankle against the top of the knee and then just roll to the left hand side. So the foot comes down to the floor and we're sending that top knee forwards and away to open into that hip and groin push that's tight in there, and reaching that knee forwards and away. Good. And just take some breaths into wherever it feels tight, wherever it needs a little bit of TLC. And then on the exhale, drawing yourself all the way back and release the legs. Take a full body stretch. Reach with the fingers, reach with the toes. And then we're going to bring the arms over the head back to the floor and bring the feet back in. So let's just see if we can do some really nice release now for the psoas, so the muscle that attaches from the back of the ribs and down through the hip. So I want you to think about bringing your feet a bit closer to your bum, and then we're going to press hard into the floor with our heels as we tilt the pelvis back into the floor. So we inhale, and on the exhale, press down with your heels and draw your belly down and back into the mat as if you're doing a really deep pelvic tilt into the floor, and then release. Inhale, and then again, exhale, tailbone to pubic bone, press with your heels. So we're not lifting the bum, but we're pressing the heels to draw the pelvis back, and then release. And again, inhale, and on the exhale, tailbone to pubic bone, press those heels into the floor, tilt that pelvis down and back into the mat, and then release. We've got 2 more to do. Inhale, and exhale, tailbone to pubic bone, pressing into the floor, tilting, and then release. Last one, inhale, and exhale, tailbone to pubic bone, press the heels into the floor, tilting down and back, and release. Lovely. We're going to lay over onto our side. Taking the bottom arm and just stretch it out, or you can bring your hand under your head, whichever feels more comfortable. And we'll do a quad stretch. So let's bring the bottom leg bent so we've got a nice platform to rest on. Reach the top leg, bottom leg straight, my mistake. And then reach the top leg bent. We're going to reach that foot and then take hold of it if we can. If you can't hold the foot, you could use a band and hook it around it, or you could hold on to your trouser or your sock. We want the knees to stay together ideally, and then we're going to press the hip bone forwards to lengthen the thigh, and then release. And again, exhale, press the hip bone forwards, keeping those knees together, don't let them separate, and then release. And again, exhale, press the hip bone forwards. The last one, exhale, press the hip bone forwards. Good work. And then release. Lengthen that leg all the way out. Let's keep the hand on the floor. We're going to bring the foot to the inside of the thigh and just stick it on. That's it. And then turn that knee up towards the ceiling. Lovely. And then we'll slide the big toe down to the end and then draw it back up, keeping the knee turned out to the ceiling. And then down and back up. It's just like you're drawing a line from your knee with your big toe to the end of your foot, and then draw it all the way back up the inside of the leg. Good. But the challenge is to keep the knee turned up towards the ceiling. Last 3. And down. And 2. Relax the shoulder, try not to put too much pressure in that front hand. And 1. And then release. Bring both knees up and rest them on the floor. And then we'll lift both heels. Twist them up and then down for 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. And now both knees go up and the heels stay down. Exhale. Twist. 1. And down. And 2. And down. 3. And down, and last one, and 4, and down. Good work. And then stretch it out. Lovely. We'll roll over onto the other side. I'm going to turn around. And then we'll do the other side. So bottom leg stays straight, and then the top leg bends. We take hold of the foot. And then pressing the hip bone forwards. So thinking about lengthening the thigh from the front of the pelvis to the knee, and just noticing where it feels tight. And then release. And exhale, tucking that tail, reaching the knee long and away. And then release. Exhale, pressing the hip bone forwards, keeping those knees together. And release. Last 2, exhale, press, and release. And last one, exhale, press, and release. And then release that leg. Bringing the hand onto the mat in front of you, slide the foot up and stick it on the inside of the thigh. And then try and turn the knee out so you get that nice stretch into the groin. And then we're going to draw a line with the big toe down to the end, and then bring it back up, knee turns out. And then bring it back down, bring it back up, knee turns out. That's it. A little bit of support, draw the belly in, protect the back. Last one. Last 2, sorry. Turn that knee out. Last one. Lovely. And then release. Bring the knees up in front, and then we'll lift both heels. Just lift and lower. Exhale, lift and lower. Exhale, lift and lower. Exhale, lift and lower. And then lift both knees now. Exhale, lift. Just going to let Lynn back in. She lost her signal. And lower. Just keep that going. Trying not to put too much pressure through the arm if you can help it.
Okay, sorry.
Exhale, lift. It's all right, Lynn. Just pop it on mute and lift. Last one. and then release. Good work. Reaching the legs all the way down onto the mat. Let's roll over onto the belly. So we're going to come up into a bit of a cobra, elbows either side of you, and really try and think about how you can lengthen your collarbone. So slide your shoulders down away from your ears and open the collarbone. So it sometimes feels nice to kind of press into the mat with your elbows and really reach long through the crown of the head. Holding this position, squeezing the buttocks, we exhale and come up. And then lengthening down, opening the collarbone. Exhale, squeeze the buttocks as you come up and then lengthen down. I really want you to focus on that stretch from the front of your pelvis to the front of your sternum to your chest. Exhale, reach up, pressing into the mat. Inhale, coming down. 4 more. Exhale, pressing up. Inhale, coming down. Good work. Last 2. And last 1. And then release. Coming all the way down, open your elbows wide. Hands go underneath the forehead and then just bring your feet up behind you. Just bring your feet, bend your knees, bring your feet up. That's it. And we let the feet drop to the left and then come back to center and then let them drop to the right. Keep your forehead connected to your hands. So just keep the elbows wide. Think about how you can lengthen your waist as you drop your feet. So drawing your belly in, trying to keep your thighs long, allowing your feet to create that nice stretch as they come down to the side. You'll feel it into the front of your hips, into your lower back. Last 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And then release your legs all the way down to the end of the mat. We'll go back into that cobra position. So just bring the arms back into the cobra. So drawing your shoulders down away from your ears, lengthening tall through the crown of the head. And we'll do those little press ups again. Ready? Inhale, and on the exhale, press and lengthen, and then lower and see if you can grow longer through the crown of the head. So when we press, we're opening the collarbone and really thinking about lengthening. As you come down, pull down and back with the elbows, opening the collarbone. Good. And again, so keep that nice long line the whole way through. It's a really nice stretch for the tummy, this one. It gets really low into the tummy. Last 3. Good for the arms too, good for the finger wings. And 2. And we're going to come up and hold it this time. Hold it here. So if this hurts your back or puts any pressure on your lower back, then I'd like you to go down to the floor. If you're okay with it, then stay here. We're going to take one hand into the middle of the mat, into the middle. So just bring it in, doesn't matter which. The other arm just lifts up and down. Exhale, lift up and down. Go on then, get that arm up there. Exhale, lift up and down. Last 2, drop the shoulder away from the ear, Caroline. Up and down. Last 1, lift up and down. Other hand into the middle, change sides. Keep squeezing the buttocks. Reach up and down. And up and down. Shoulder away from the ear, up and down. And up and down. I think we've got 1 more. And up and down. And then both hands back to the sides and lengthen the tummy down. This time we're going to shoot the arms forwards and just release there. Feet fold, excuse me, feet fold in and then lengthen them all the way back down. Hands back under the head and then bring yourself into that little roll that we did already. So bend the knees and just drop the feet to the left and to the right. 4, and 3, and 2, and last 1 each side. and release. Good work. Okay, so let's push back into our child pose, sending the tail all the way back, and drop your bottom towards your heels, reaching the arms out in front and just starting to notice if we've got a little bit more movement now. We're going to take a sway to the left and to the right. Eye gaze to the floor, and we just inhale and exhale. You might want to open your knees a fraction. So open them and separate them out a little bit. And as you rock from side to side, try not to come higher away from the floor. So you're literally just staying the same height from the floor and then hovering left and right. And as you hover, you're trying to feel that nice stretch up under the back of your shoulder and around the sides of your ribs. Into your hips, into your thighs. And we'll just do 4 or 5 more. This is a really nice way of working lots of areas all at the same time. Last 2. And last 1. And then bring those hands back in and sit all the way up. Okay, so let's do a little bit more work on the hamstrings and the hips. So we're going to take 1 foot forwards. Make sure you've got something soft under your knee here, and then drive the arms up and down. So as you bring the arms up, scoot that tail under and lengthen from knee to the front of your thigh into your hip. 3 and 2 and 1. Keep that tail tucked under, arms come down, and then rotate. Rotate one way, come back to center, and then rotate the other way. Ooh, come back to center, don't fall over. Rotate. Scoot the belly, drop the shoulders, rotate. Good work. Follow your hands with your eyes. So just 2 more. Keep lengthening the lower back, lengthening the front of the thigh. And last one. See if you can keep that stabilizing leg still. Don't let it twist and move, that front leg. And then release. Okay, that front leg's going to stretch out a bit, so just take it out in front of you, but kink the knee. So don't lock the leg out, put a kink into the knee. And we're going to take the arms up, and then we're going to hinge forwards, and then come back up. Don't worry about too much how low you go. I just want you to feel it deep up under your sit bones and the back of your thigh. So you're reaching forwards. So let's see if we can lengthen the back as we reach forwards, and then come back up. Reach forwards and come back up. Good. That's it. Reach forwards. So you want the front leg mainly straight, but put a bend in the knee. Don't lock out the knee. Let's just do 3 more. And 2. And 1. And then we're going to let the hands just rest down to the floor if they will go there. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And then we're going to bend the front knee and then see if we can straighten the front leg. Bend the front knee, rock forwards, and then straighten, rock back. Bend, rock forwards, straighten, rock back. So working on our hamstrings. So you're keeping your foot still, it's super glued to the floor, and you're bending the knee, rocking forwards, limb with a happy face, and then rocking back, lengthen the thigh, rocking forwards, and rocking back. 2 more. Rock forwards and rock back. Last one. Rock forwards and then rock back. Good work. Let's just hold it there. Pressing the heel into the floor, pressing the tail back, opening the back of that hamstring. Breathing into the stretch. For 3. Smile, calm. And 2. And 1. Sink all the way forwards. Bring your hands onto the inside of your foot. Both hands on the inside of your foot. Good work. And then let your knee turn out and away. So you're going to let your knee move away from your midline. Lovely. And if you want to, you've got the option to come down onto your elbows. You don't have to. It's a much deeper stretch. That's it. Well done. Good. Now, whilst you're here, we're going to bring the knee back towards the midline and then away again. So fold it in towards you and out away. In towards you and out away. 2 more. In and out. 1 more. In and out. And then bring your back up onto your hands, And now we're going to twist in the direction of your inner thigh. So you're going to turn towards your inner thigh and just have a look at it. You can bring one hand up onto the knee if you want to. And if you want to, you can take it up to the sky and reach it all the way up. See how you feel. Is it good? And then bring it back to the floor. And we're going to do 3 of those rotations. So either just bring the hand to the knee or take the hand to the sky. Let's go. Exhale, 1, twist and down. Exhale, 2, twist and down. And exhale, 3, twist and down. And then push back and then just release out of it. We'll sit back into child pose. Let's just take 3 breaths there. Reaching your arms forwards. And let's do the other side. So taking the other leg forwards this time. And then we'll go into our simple reaches first. So tuck your tail under, reach up and then down. And reach up and down. Lengthening knee to hip. Keep tucking your tail under, Freya, as you come forwards. Try and scoop your tail under to lengthen the front of your thigh on the knee that you're leaning on. So it's your left leg. You want to stretch the front of it. 3 and 2 and 1. Keep that length. Bring the arms down and then twist. Reaching across and then through. And you should get a nice stretch into the front of the hip and thigh. And back and twist. Yeah, your eye gaze, follow your hands. Twist. Lovely. Let's do 3 more. Exhale. Try and keep the hands shoulder width apart. Tailbone to pubic bone. Keep drawing the belly in to support the back on that twist. And last one. And then release the hands. Good. So we're going to take the leg out slightly in front. Straighten the leg if you want to start with, but then just bend the knee. That's it. And then we're going to do our hamstrings. So arms come up and then we reach forwards and send the tail back. And come up. Reach forwards, send the tail back. Exhale as we fold. Good work. Tailbone to pubic bone. Finding that stability in your core. Think about folding from the folding the ribs towards the thighs. Exhale. Ooh, wobbly this side. And 2 more. And then we got the last one, and we're going to hold it there. And just let the hands settle where everything can settle. And just feel that stretch in the back of the hamstring. You all right, Caroline? Okay. So as you're holding it here, breathe, lengthening the big toe. Lengthening both arches in the feet. Feel that length into the back of the hamstring. Sending the breath out of the body. Okay, so let's just rock forwards and then rock back. So bend the front knee, rock, drop forwards, and then straighten the front leg, push back. Good work. So think about the leg doing the stretching rather than into the back. Try to soften those shoulders. Good work. Helen, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just that your room's a lot darker, so I can't see you less. Last 4. And 3. Keep that foot super glued to the floor. And 2. And then 1. And we sink all the way forwards and bring the hands to the inside of the foot. Allow the knee to drift out to the side, so just let it move away from the midline. That's it, lovely. Good. And just enjoy that stretch there. If you can and you want to, you can come down onto your elbows. It's a deeper stretch. Good for swimmers, this one. I'll have to remember that. Okay, so knee comes in and then rolls out. And bring it in and out. Exhale, bring it in and out. Exhale, bring it in and out. Let's just do one more there. And in and out. Good work. Bringing yourself back up onto your hands and then turning towards your inner thigh. So you might want to bring your hand onto your knee and just twist to face it, or you might prefer just to turn your body. You don't have to take your hand off the floor if it feels too much. And then we're going to extend, if we can, up towards the sky. So reach the arm up, that's it, and then bring it back and touch the floor. And then reach up and twist, and back and touch, and up and twist. Very good. Last one. Bring it up and twist, and then release. Lovely. And then just bring yourself out of it, doesn't matter how, and sit back into your child pose. All right, so let's finish that section by taking the big toes together. You might want to turn sideways on your mat just to give yourself a bit more comfort on your knees. And then take your knees as far apart as you can. So toes together, knees far apart. And then we'll come down onto our elbows. And just send your tail back and your pubic bone tilts forwards. And we're going to do our north and south tilt here. So scoop the belly, curl the tail under, and then press the tail back and away. Scoop the belly, curl the tail under, and press the tail back and away. You won't get much movement, but you should feel a decent stretch. Take the tail back and away. Let's do 4 more. Scoop the belly, curl the tail, and then reach the tail back and away. 3 more, sorry, and reach. And scoop and reach, and last one, scoop and reach. And then if you can and you want to, just walk those hands forwards, reaching out as far as you can, opening into the armpit, opening into the rib cage, sending the tail down and back, opening into the groin. And we're going to use this as an opportunity to release the pelvic floor. So nice deep breath in, low into the pelvis, and really allow your pelvic floor to soften and relax here. No gripping, no tension. Exhale, just let it all go. And we're going to do 4 breaths like that. Breathing in wide into the inner thighs, pelvic floor. And exhale, let it all go. No holding and gripping into the pelvic floor. Keep softening and releasing. Releasing back passage, front passage, the inner thighs, the tummy. Feeling the breath creating space. And then slowly shuffling the elbows back in and bring yourself back up. We'll bring in one knee and then the other, and then come up to tall kneeling. Well done. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out and open. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out and open. One more time. Breathe in, lift up, and then open. We've got 2 little things to finish with. So we're going to see if we can take one hand back and take hold of the ankle. If that's too much for you and doesn't feel nice, you might just want to put your hands on your hips. So is everyone okay with that? Yeah. So take your, I'm going to go with that one, Caroline. So going to take your hips and just open and look up if you want to. If you can, take your hand onto your ankle and then press your hips forwards and just feel that nice length into the front of the thigh. Any pressure in the lower back that it doesn't like, come out of it. Good work. Lovely. And then to come out of it, we sit down, and then come back up. Let's have a go on the other side. So you can either take your hands to the back of your hips and just open your chest and and open and extend that way. Or if you want to, you can take hold of the ankle and then just press forwards into the hip bone and just try and get that nice length. And if there's any discomfort in the lower back, just sit back down out of it. Good. Open everything out. Lovely. And then sit down and back. Good work. And then we'll just counteract that. So scoop the belly and draw everything up and back. And just reset. And then release. So coming down onto the floor, as soon as it's seated, we're going to cross one foot. So let's go with the right foot, or your left foot crosses over and under, and then your right foot goes over the top. So hopefully then you should look the same as me. Nearly there, Freya. Hold on. You're all right. She's yawning. So we're going to bring the opposite arm around the knee. So you can either use the crook of your elbow or you can use your hand. It will depend on the mechanics of your arm length. And then just send your sit bones down into the floor, and you should feel then a nice stretch around the hip and the buttock. And it's really deep there. So imagine that you're trying to press your sit bones into the mat, and that will open out really low and deep into the joint, the muscles around the joint. Good. And then we can add rotation to that if we want to go a little bit deeper. So we take the spare arm up to the sky and then take it behind you and pop it on the floor, and then use that arm as a lever, press into the floor and use it to help you twist and look over your back shoulder. Again, sinking the sit bones heavy into the floor and feeling the muscles gently opening away from the joint of the hip. It's a good old bum stretch, that one. Good. And then unravel gently. And we'll do the other side. Last little bit and we're done. So cross the ankle. And then hug with the opposite arm. And then use that arm to send this sit bone heavy into the floor. So if it feels too much, just back off a little bit. Let the knee fold away from you. If you need that deeper stretch, then hug it in. When you hug it in, try not to collapse. Open that collarbone and sit tall. That's it, lovely. Come on then, you can do it. And that's it, lovely. Straighten at the back, lengthening up, and just really feel that opening out into the sit bones, into the hip. Sending the breath wherever it feels tight. And then if you want that extra stretch, you're going to take the arm up, lengthen, and take it behind you and then pop it on the floor and just twist to look over your shoulder and looking over towards whatever's behind you in the room. Sending the sit bone down into the floor. Try not to let it lift. Keep sending it and rooting it down into the mat. And breathe into that stretch, opening out into the hip, into the buttock. And then slowly unravel. And just bring yourself into a cross-leg position. Well done, everybody. Good work. So we're just going to finish with a little bit of breathing, hand on heart, hand on belly, and let the belly relax. So this is your time to let it all go. Let your shoulders soften. And we're just going to close the eyes and focus on 360 breathing. So we're going to breathe into the back of the ribs, the sides of the ribs, the front of the chest, the belly, the pelvic floor. We want to think about imagining we're inflating a balloon 360 in each direction. Nice breaths. So we're going to breathe in wide into that balloon. Feeling the air fill under your hands. And then exhale. Let it all go. And again, breathing in. Expand that balloon as big as you can. Exhale, let it all go. So utilizing each space available to you back of the ribs, the side of the ribs, the front of the chest, the belly, the pelvic floor. Exhale, let it all go. Last couple. Really send the breath wherever it doesn't want to go. So noticing the sticky points, the bits that pull, the bits that feel tighter. Last one. And release. And you're done. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me.